Hi everyone, and welcome to the Worn to Whimsy channel. Today I am going to be painting a forest scene on a card. I'm going to be using watercolors, and I'm going to try and keep this as straightforward and as simple as possible. We're going to put in a background as you see there, and then some trees in the foreground. So I'm going to jump right in and get started. I am using watercolors, and I'm using a dark blue and a green, and that blue is almost black, so it does have quite a bit of black pigment in it. You can tell once you water it down and once you use it. It's a beautiful color though. So we're going to start off with the background here, and the background I'm going to make a lighter wash, and all you really need to do for that is you're using the exact same colors as a darker wash, but you're adding more water. So I'm making sure to make my pigment mix very wet, and it will make almost a translucent paint that you're putting on there, translucent watercolor, so you'll be able to see through it. So first I came in with a line, and then I come in going down that line and adding little branches coming off the sides of it and slowly tapering out as we go down. I try to keep them all uneven and stay relatively loose with it. I'm using a larger watercolor brush, so that does help keep it loose. And you can see I also mixed a relatively even mix of the blue and the green, just kind of going back and forth and adding more water as I go along. Now I'm coming in with my second background tree. I'm going to keep this relatively translucent, maybe add a little bit more blue or a little bit more green here and there as you remix your colors or your wash, just to give it some depth. You know, a few more colors in there isn't going to hurt anything. And for the second tree, I made it slightly darker. And I also make sure not to do them all at the same height. I think that's probably the biggest thing. Trees don't all grow at the same height. Some of them do, but I try to go back and forth a little bit and have some a little bit closer together so they don't all look absolutely perfect. And just being as random as possible with those branches again. I thought this would be a fun, simple tutorial. I got asked for it a few times. I did a quick sped up version of just a few minutes of it, so they said, hey, put this on YouTube or put this on a video and do a tutorial. So I thought that would be a quick, easy one. Now I'm making these for family, and I'm also using these as sort of ideas, maybe for future cards. I'm coming out with some cards on my website this year for Christmas, so I thought, let's just get some more practice in there while we're at it, you know? And I think they're a really fun project for family because it took me 15 minutes, and I was also painting to film, so you know that usually takes me a little bit longer than if I just sit there and go to it really quickly. So you can see I even took one tree and put it up all the way to the top. Now here I was getting a little bit darker with my color, and you can sort of move your colors around with watercolor. So right now I took my brush and I just pulled that color down. The pigments will slowly spread out, but I wanted a little less pigmentation in there. And now we're coming to the end, towards the end of our background. I'm gonna add one more tree in there. And this all will dry just a little bit lighter than what you put it on. There I go, pulling that color around a little bit. And the bottom doesn't really matter too much. We're going to be filling in most of the bottom with the dark trees in the forefront. So I just left it random. Okay, and we are going to let this dry and move on to part 2. All dried. I think I waited about half an hour. Now we're going to come in with those darker trees over the top. And for this, I went ahead and just mixed a whole lot more pigment into my mix. So it was much deeper colored mix. And I'm still just using the same 2 colors, the blue and the green. And you can see it's almost like thicker and much deeper. Just making sure I get way more of that pigment in there. Now I'm going to come right across the top. I tried not to go directly over any trees for the background, but you know, if you have 1 or 2 that overlap quite a bit, that's fine as well. And it's the same exact thing with this. With this, it's just the darker color. Start with a line, do your little back and forth branches, and make them thicker as you come down and wider. I think this is the second YouTube video that I am offering with watercolors. I do have quite a few of those in my paid tutorial group. You can find out more about that on my website, www.warntowhimsy.com. But I love watercolors. I think they're relaxing and they're freeing, and I feel like everybody should try them at least once. I know they can be intimidating because they do work differently than acrylics. So if you're used to a different medium, watercolors, they have a little bit of a learning curve. My grandmother was an amazing watercolor artist, and I know I'm nowhere near her, but I definitely have fun with them. I was a little bit more careful maybe with these ones on the front. They took a little bit longer, just slightly more detailed because it's darker and it's not sort of lost in the mist. It's directly in front of you and they're closer, so you would see more detail, and it stands out against the lighter background ones. And we're going to do the same thing with varying heights. And I left enough space with my background to come between the trees. And I was also trying to make sure I put some of them closer together, further apart. That sort of comes with practice as well. You know, I did about 4 of these cards already, 3 of which I really like. So it does take some practice, and I've also done these trees a few times, practiced the trees, and then I've done many of these trees with acrylics. So if you don't get this the first time, that is okay. It is all leading up to something more. Practice makes perfect, so, and I hope you do try it. Also, if you do try it, I'd love for you to message me. You can message me on Facebook or at my website and send me the pictures because, yeah, I love it when people send me their pictures of tutorials that they've been able to follow. Okay, we're just gonna finish this up with one last little tree on the edge here. And I think this project turned out so cute. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and watching my video. If you did like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And don't forget to hit subscribe so that you can see all of my videos that I will be coming out with. Thank you so much. Again, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.